Sunday Funday. Let's talk some Underdog Pick'em. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Craig Bennett, aka Cash Cake, back with an Underdog Fantasy Pick'em video. I got 3 plays for you here we'll talk about on Sunday Funday. Again, Sunday NBA can be a little bit wonky, but again, I found 3 plays that I do like, 2 that are plus EV. We'll talk about those, and I'm sure lines will move a little bit. It's about 2 a.m. Here on the East Coast, Eastern Standard Time. So I want to get these plays out before the lines move. Might have to shift my whole my whole schedule and start maybe doing these videos late at night or early in the morning before the lines move, because they just move so fast. But hey, if you don't have that Underdog account, use that promo code CashKeg and get yourself the 100% instant deposit match up to $100. The link is in the description below. So hey, let's just get after it, see what we got going on, and talk a little Underdog Fantasy Pick'em. Let's go. All right, we got the Underdog Fantasy Pick'em here. Again, they do have a real cool rivalry option as well. They don't have any NBA up, but it's one of my favorite things that they do have, basically picking between the two. But we're going to talk about higher and lower of the projections that they have set already. Another option they have, on some of the other sites they call it, something different, but it's insurance. I only use this if I'm doing 4 or 5 picks. If I'm doing 3 or less, I leave it off. So keep that in mind. We're going to talk about 3 picks, though. First one we're going to talk about is one I already talked about in a different video, and that's Spencer Dinwiddie. Now, I wish the assists were at 5.5 because I would love that, because the plus EV on 5.5 assists is at like minus 155, minus 160 at some of the sites out there. But on the flip side of his points-wise, man, he just hasn't been getting it done. Spencer Dinwiddie, 4 games with the trade with Kevin Durant gone, Irving, and they brought in Cam Johnson. They brought in Mikal Bridges, Finney Smith. It's just he's only cleared this number once of those 4 games. He said 9, 28, 9, and 2 points in those 4 games. So I'm going to take lower here. Dinwiddie can go off anytime. So if you don't like this, I completely understand. The juice is actually a little bit on the over of points, but and he can take over any game that he wants to. Let's keep that in mind. So I'm just going off of what I've seen and watched those 4 games. I'm going to take lower than 19.5 points here for Spencer Dinwiddie. Again, has a lot to do. I think he's going to be more the facilitator, and those other guys are going to be shooting the ball a little bit more. Like I said, can he take over a game? Sure. And that's always a worry anytime you take Spencer Dinwiddie. What is he really going to do here? But with all those guys, we don't have a whole lot of track record. Again, 4 games is not a big sample size to look off of. So with the lines being out the way they are, that's what I'm going to be going off of. Next one here, this is going to be my favorite game to watch. I can't wait to watch this one, where we have the Dallas Mavericks and the LA Lakers. Kyrie Irving, I think he's going to want to show out here against LeBron, but I do think the 2 that I am looking at right now is his assist, plus EV on assist, minus 130, minus 135 out there for higher than 5.5 assists. He's cleared this number and in his last 3 games here. He's been with Dallas since the 8th. So if we kind of go back and look at all the games that he's played with Dallas since the 8th, he's cleared this in 4 of those 5 games. 5, 10, 7, 6, and 6 assists. Lakers are ranked 23rd in assists allowed, 21st against the point guard. Again, Luka and Kyrie are going to have the ball in their hands. We all know that. And then points-wise, I like that as well. It's juiced at 25.5. He's cleared this in 2 of those 5 games, 24, 25, 28, 36, and 23. I don't mind that as well. But I do think the higher 5.5 assists is where I want to be. Again, Luka and Kyrie are both going to have the ball in their hand a ton. And if they make some of those shots, he should be able to do it here. So we should see pretty heavy minutes out of him. And I don't mind, again, higher 5.5 assists or 25.5 points. I'll take the higher plus EV here at the 5.5 assist. And that's what I'm kind of looking at here. And even Luka, like I'll mention Luka real quick. I don't have really an official play here for Luka. I'll just kind of talk about him a little bit. I like the 7.5 assists we got at other place out there, but they've already bumped it to 8, so I don't know if I want to go there. But it was minus 135, minus 140 on the 7.5 assists. So if you do want to take 8 here, I'm perfectly fine with that. But I think if I took the 8 assists at higher than that, I would want higher on Kyrie Irving points, because I think a lot of the assists are going to go to him scoring wise, and that's where I'd kind of be with that if I was looking at pairing the two up is kind of how I do it. Now, points at 32.5, I think that is pretty high for Luka, because they do have the juice on the under on minus 125, minus 130. And if we look at those games since he came over, he's cleared it twice out of the 4 games they played together, 27, 33, 37, and 28. And I think a lot of that has to do with the shot volume's not going to be there with Kyrie, because Kyrie's going to shoot a ton. If you look at those 4 games they've been together, he shot 20, 20, 22, and 16 times. Still a lot, but he's got to be super efficient to hit that number. So I don't mind taking lower here if you want to go lower than 32.5 points. Luka can put up 50 anytime. Let's be real. But it's just one of those things where, the juice is on the under here. Like I said, the shot volume is down a little bit. If we look at some of the games prior to that, we go back, back when we played Washington on the 21st of January, put up 29 shots. Detroit put up 24. That was prior to having Kyrie Irving around. So, again, Kyrie Irving is definitely going to take some shot volume away from Luka. So I don't mind taking lower here. But, again, it always makes me nervous when you take an under on Luka. So just wanted to kind of throw that out there. Then the other one I want to talk about here is actually Kyle Kuzma here. So Kyle Kuzma rebounds 8.5. Now, if we kind of look at this, Porzingis is out. I kind of did some research, pulled Porzingis out, and it looks like there's been 8 games this year with Porzingis out, and he's only cleared this in 3 of those 8 games. And the 2 games that he did clear, he hit 9 and 9, so not quite there. And then, just barely cleared it. And then in Dallas, he put 11. But before that, 2, 6, 5, 4, and 5 are the games he didn't clear it. I think it's going lower on Kyle Kuzma here. I know there's no Porzingis. Again, they're going up against Chicago. If we kind of see what they've done against Chicago, what he's done against Chicago, he put up 4 rebounds on January 11th this year against the Bulls. Last year he did a little bit more, but with no Porzingis. But if we just do the Bulls this year, he's put up 6, 5, and 4 rebounds against them. Juice is on the under around minus 130 as well. So I do like this under 8.5 for him. Gafford should get quite a bit of those rebounds. Chicago is actually a top 5 team in offensive rebounds allowed, so they don't give up a ton of offensive rebounds. And middle of the pack in rebounds allowed at 15th. So, I think Vooch can suck up a bunch of those rebounds, going to hurt Kuzma. And then Gafford's going to be on the boards. It's not like he's like Porzingis where he's sitting out there waiting to shoot threes. Gafford's going to be around the basket, so he's going to be grabbing a lot of those boards when he is out there. And that's one thing I think that, we could kind of look at to capitalize on at the 8.5 number. Again, juice on the under here, no Porzingis. We could just see a little bit of more rebounds toward Gafford and not so much toward Kuzma. So that's what I'm kind of looking at. Again, not a ton of value that I love out here, but it is something that we are going to look at here. And those are the plays that we like. Spencer Dinwiddie lower than 19.5 points. Kyle Irving over 5 or higher than 5.5 assists. And then Kyle Kuzma lower than 8.5 rebounds. And if you want to look at it, you could look at, like I said, Luka at under 32.5 points. It always makes me nervous. But again, the shot volume is going to be down a little bit just with Kyrie out there. So one of those things to kind of just keep in mind. So again, if you don't have that account over at Underdog Fantasy, use that promo code CashK and get that 100% instant deposit match up to $100. Link is in the description below. And like always, have a fun Sunday, fun day. I'll see you guys on the flip side. Deuces.